Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. So today I'm sitting in the sanctuary looking at James Bignell's painting. So shout out to James. I got a 517living.com t-shirt on. So thank you, Sarah, for all of the work that you're doing out there, promoting local businesses and events. And always the champ, Mr. Joe Walker and thisent.com. Thanks for promoting the show, and thanks for your offer to help me summarize all of the episodes as we release the new ones going after September 12th. So today we are episode 355. So we've done this 355 days in a row. And after today, we've got 10 left. So our last show will be on September 11th. So stay tuned for all of those. And now let's introduce our guest, Annastasha Trevino with the Viita salon and spa. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
So what's been going on?
A lot. 1 year anniversary just passed. We opened up August 10th of 2020. So we just celebrated 1 year. That was great. And now just getting things going and started with the new team.
Well, let's get into that in a
yeah.
little bit. We want to give some shout outs to.
So I guess my first shout out would be, I'll start with my team, of course, at Bella Vita. Shout out to all of them. It's 8 of us, so I'm not gonna say it's all individually,
Okay.
but huge shout out to all of them. And then a huge shout out to my community, my inner community, which is my circle. Wouldn't be here without them. But then also my support in the community as well as Lansing and my clients. I wouldn't be here without them. And most importantly, a huge shout out to my husband, Annastasha Trevino, who has pushed me and supported me and worked very hard along with me on this journey.
He was on the show a few days ago, and I thought that interview was fascinating. I didn't know where it was going to go and all of that.
Yeah.
I thought he did such a great job. Jonathan Brown.
Yeah.
He says, proud of your mom. So put that up on the screen.
Thanks, son.
So, I don't know if you heard her. Thank you, son. So let's get into you a little bit. Where were you born and raised? Where'd you go to school?
So I was born and raised here in Lansing, Michigan. I went to school almost at all the school district only because I had a little history. So I started off, doing good in elementary school. Once I got to middle school, got a little trouble, fought a lot, got kicked out a lot. So I actually dropped out of high school at Sexton. It was supposed to be my senior year. And then my aunt from Chicago took me in. I moved out there and graduated with my high school diploma. So yeah, that's how that went.
Did you go to Rich or Otto?
So I went to Rich and Gardner in the Capital Area Academy. And then I went to Everett, Sexton, a little bit of Advanced Path, went back to Sexton, dropped out, and then moved.
I named off Kendon and Riddle and Atwood and Gardner and Everett and Eastern.
I went to Atwood too. I went to Atwood and then Wood Creek. I loved Wood Creek.
You did?
Yeah.
I loved Atwood. I loved all my schools actually, to be honest. But I wrestled, so I was like super focused on my grades and getting the scholarship and all of that. And I always tell people that when they say that they dropped out of high school and then went back or whatever, all of my software developers that were really good when I had software companies all dropped out of high school. Because it's just it's not for everybody. Our educational system.
It is weird.
Yeah. So what made you want to be, what do you call yourself? Do you call yourself a beautician? Do you call yourself a stylist?
I would more so say an artist. Only because like what I specialize in is more so like the transformation or like an illusion. But I would more so say before anything, I'm an entrepreneur because I do more than just hair. So definitely like have a lot more business aspect to me than anything else. But what rooted me or started me was the artistry of hair, doing braids, and moving up into wigs and extensions. And that's where that illusion came from. I create like the illusion of a hairline or a scalp that somebody might not have and want to have, or hair that they might not have and want to have. I create that for my clients.
So many times an artist won't admit they're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But you put entrepreneurialism first and then
Yeah.
art second, I guess.
In a way, yeah.
Do you have some other gigs besides like side hustles that you're doing?
For
too?
sure. Well, obviously, with my husband and what he does and what he talked about, I help him a lot with that. But he's also a musician, so I help him a lot with that, and I also help his musician friends with a lot. Mainly managing, booking, and things like that. So I do that alongside of what I do with the salon, and then I have some other things that I'm working on that I'm not going to release yet, but this is definitely just the startup of great like ideas and visions that I've had, and this helps me get there. This is like the financial part that's going to help me get to where I'm trying to go, not just be behind the chair, but what we'll get into, which is my commission.
Okay. Well, let's get into Viita a little bit more. What you told us that you just celebrated your 1 year anniversary. So
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And a lot of people will say that, like, were you always in a retail shop? Or
No.
were you doing that?
So I started at home.
Yeah.
It was a pretty crazy transition. I started at home. Literally, like backstory, we just got married. Was struggling, like financially, couldn't really afford to do much, and I was at a salon, but I couldn't afford to pay the blueprint at the time, and so basically I had to make that sacrifice. My husband was currently working full time, like 2 jobs, and trying to sustain what we were basically catching up with. And at that time, I didn't know what to do because I've always done hair, but I had already taken that step being full-time hairstylist at the previous salon. And then it was like I hit this, bump and didn't know where to go from there. And so after we had got married, had that, happen, he was like, well, just do it from home. Like, I'll create, a salon here, or you can just start here. And I'm like, I don't want to work from my house. Like, no, I just came from a salon and I'm working at home, like whatever. And so I'm like, all right, well, if we do it, I can't do it halfway. And he literally created a little salon in the front of our apartment for me. And that's where it all started. I had already had a love for hair extensions and wigs, and because I have like a scalp condition myself, and also knew a lot of people that were dealing with certain things, I was already into hair extensions and starting that business up. But when this happened, and he kind of had that like real tough love pep talk with me, he was like, just do it. So hair extensions business came, I promoted it and said, look, you buy a wig for me, I'll do your install for $25. And that's literally how it started, besides everything else I had already known how to do and did before. And then I became known for doing wigs and lace and things like that. And then fast forward, moved into our house. He built me another salon inside of the house. So like we had a back patio type of area. He created that into like a salon suite for me. And went from there. Pandemic happened. So right before the pandemic happened, we sold the house for him to go to college to pursue his degree and what he talked to you about. And I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead and take that step. My friend had a suite that she was working in, and so I ended up just going into that suite with her for a little while, and then the pandemic happened. Because I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I need somewhere to work. I gotta make money still, and I didn't want to leave my client taken. So pandemic happened though, ended up shutting down. And at that point, she was growing, I was growing. We needed somewhere. We both couldn't fit in that space. You know what I'm saying? We both were trying to expand and get to the next phase of our journey and what we were doing. And I don't know how I got the space I literally just seen a sign in the window. I took a step on faith and I called them. And the lady just had a good feeling about me and was like, here you go type situation. So I would really say it was God for real, because I didn't plan on what happened. I just took the step and was like, well, let's see. And it went through.
So where's the space at now?
In Real Town, right next to the Real Town Pub.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Because what are we at? Saddleback, the real
Saddleback,
time up,
and then my
you?
business. Yep, right before the thrift store.
Okay, I thought they made that something else.
So yeah, it was a nail salon.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and then the lady who had the nail salon, she then gave me her lease.
Okay, so it was pretty set up for you already too, or not really?
No, not really. We literally did like quick renovations in a month. She gave me the keys July, and August the 10th we had everything going. So we painted almost, well, literally painted the entire space almost, and then you know did like little things as far as the salon setup. But since I've been there in this whole year, I've literally renovated or changed it around like 3 times. So this time though was the last time. Like this is it. Like we got 2 years left. Not changing it again. We're good.
I'm gonna have to peek in the window next time I'm over
You
there.
can take it. We'll have to give you a tour. You can walk through.
I would like that.
Yeah.
So that's a great location, right?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty easy for everybody to find. I mean,
Yeah.
how is it going well?
Yeah. Surprisingly, like even though we opened up during the pandemic, I mean, I had a pretty good client base, so that helped a lot, and I'm grateful for that. Because I literally built myself up, and so when the pandemic happened, it really like, we were thriving still, steady. We did all the proper precautions, but we were still getting new clients, and I was still booked up, and so it definitely was a blessing. Like, didn't really have much. Of course, I had those low times, and like first of all, I started off with my own money, so I put all my own cash from everything into the business, and then the business started to grow, and that's where like things became stressful because now it was like only my income investing and putting into the business, and now I'm like learning, okay, well now I need business credit or some form of something because my income alone can't sustain like the growth and what's happening with the business, and so but that was a good problem to have. So those were like the low ends of things or when things got slow. But other than that, it's been going good.
Do you rent chairs or booths out to people too?
Yeah. So we have a couple that are booth rent, and I have a couple commission. Now I have a receptionist. Never thought I would be somebody's boss, but have a receptionist who handles all the bookings and things like that. So it's definitely going good.
Are you really the boss, or are they really your boss? Yes.
I could be a little lenient, but no, I think we create a very fun environment. But we're like, I think the foundation is set. They know like I'm really cool, but I'm also really about my business. So as long as like this is taken care of, I'm good.
And there's 8 people that you work with?
So there's 8 of us all together, including the receptionist. So as far as artists go, there's 7 of us, including me.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Feels big, actually.
Yeah.
8 people is kind of complicated. There's a lot of relationships and dynamics going on.
Yeah.
So I have a confession to make. When the pandemic first started, and I was helping different organizations like evaluate companies and grants and what's essential, what's not essential.
Yeah.
Salons just kept coming up again and again and again, and I'm like, why is this important?
Yeah.
I don't understand this, right?
Yeah.
I was wrong. I was super wrong. I learned right in the beginning as I was doing the show actually that you're a lot more than an artist. You're a lot more than somebody that does somebody's hair
Yeah.
or nails or what have you. You're a friend. You're a talking post. You're almost a
Yes,
therapist. And it's very, very, very important that people maintain that connection. And I don't know why I missed that for all these years, but it is something I learned during the pandemic is how important the work that you and your other artists do for the mental health of everybody else.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that exactly. A lot of my clients, especially for me personally, some of my clients deal with like alopecia or like hair loss and things like that. And so, like, obviously, I create, wigs and things for them to be able to have at home too. But most of them, like, they love the full installation process of it, where it's secure and good to go. That's not something they can do themselves. So definitely, like, things like that, are important, because for them, like, that brings up, even though they're beautiful regardless, that enhances their beauty, that makes them feel even better. And so things, being able to do that, along with even just like, somebody's feeling down, when you get your hair done, like, you feel really good. Or even like, I know my husband for himself, when he gets his hair cut, you can't tell him anything. So it's just one of those like great vibes of like, I feel good, I look good, even though other things are going on. Like this, just, I don't care if I don't anywhere else to go. Like, I'm gonna go home and take pictures. Like, that was what they were able to get even during the pandemic. And so I think that everything you said is exactly what it is. That escape, that relaxation, even like parents that were at home with kids, being able, I know like sometimes that can be a lot. So being able to take a step and just have a time to relax and not have to focus on certain things, and then go back home and have a clear head to tend back to those things. Little things, but big things that make a difference. So, for sure.
So I'm going to take just a second to make sure that bellavita.com is on the screen here. So I'm getting your website out there.
Yeah.
And then I'm also putting I've got all your Facebook and Instagram and TikTok out there as well. So people, you can find Bella Vita on Facebook, Instagram. You can find Annastasha on Facebook, Instagram, and find Bella Vita on TikTok as well.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those links are in the comments if you want to check that out. Are you taking new appointments?
Yeah, we're always taking appointments.
Call the receptionist and she figures out, or they figure out.
Yeah, or you can book online too.
Okay.
So we have the convenience of both.
At bellavita.com.
Yeah.
There's a link there.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next? Not your secret stuff.
For Bella Vita.
Yeah.
For sure, just right now, like, since we just launched this new team with a lot of new services, now the biggest thing is promotion. Especially, like, I guess one of the downfalls of opening during the pandemic was we didn't have much publicity. Like typically, you get the news channel or different things like that. Like, a lot of people didn't know we exist, and a lot of people still think like we're the nail salon from before. So definitely, like, after a year, you would think people are now starting to understand, like, oh, this is the salon and spa, like, this is a whole different business. So for now, what's next is just promoting the new team, promoting Bella Vita as what it is, so people know and they can come in and get those services done. And then just creating that all around space for the community, especially because we're a unique, type of salon. We service everyone from all different demographics, different colors, brown, black, white, blue, purple. Like, everybody can come and get their hair, nails, lashes done. Everybody can come and feel comfortable no matter what, where or what is going on. So that's what's next, is creating that and making sure people know we have that.
Do you think most of that future business comes from like advertising or from word of mouth?
Definitely word of mouth, and then advertising as well. Now social media is big, so people, first thing they do when they find out about something is search it on social media, look at the reviews or the work and things like that. So those things are definitely like a huge thing. Once the word of mouth happens, they're like, oh, let me go to their Instagram, or oh, let me check out their work. That's like the second thing that they do. So those two things are like the biggest things that we're trying to push now, or not trying to, but actually are pushing now, so people know who we are, what we do, what we offer, and that we offer it to everyone.
So I have a question. I just got back from Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago. I moved my daughter out there, and I used to paint my pinky nails all the time, but I started noticing a lot of males with painted nails. Is this a trend that's coming at us?
I think so. I think it's because of the rock stars on social media. All the artists and rappers, and now it's not just rock stars, it's rappers, it's pop stars, it's whoever. They finding their own unique way to express themselves, and some of them get their nails painted.
So are you finding that at the salon? Are any men coming in?
I mean, yeah, we have like all different types, whether it's a straight man or a gay man. Like we've serviced them as well, and they feel the same beautiful leaving out, whether it's a manicure or a facial or a wig install.
So you cut men's hair,
No, we don't cut men's hair, but we do have men's facials or offer like a manicure. But then we also service like those from the LGBTQ community as well. So if they come in or get a wig or their hair done, braids or something like that as well.
would you say more on the trans side of the LGBTQ?
I mean, sort of, but
Just
some of
I don't know. I think my own
yes,
this question.
sort of. But I think most like it's not a lot, just a few. But those that have come, they're pretty much like in tune with either them being a gay male or whatever, but they just like to get their hair and nails done. So haven't had too much of like whatever, but I do know that they come in and they feel like I said they come in like I want this get glamified, and or we do the couples facials for men and women too. So we'll have that too, more of a relaxing type of setting. So either or.
Do people do that like for dates or
Yeah.
something, or to get out together?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to ask my wife about it.
Yeah, it's a really you can take a great nap, get a good face massage, leave out feeling clean. So whatever the need is for whoever they are, however they are, wherever they come from, we have it.
When I got a haircut when I was a kid, if I was with my dad, it was at Myers. If I was with my mom, it was at her stylist. And that shampoo he used to give knocked me out
Yeah,
every single time.
nice scalp massage. It does the job.
So I should have known back when I was a kid that this was therapeutic as much as anything else.
Oh yeah.
So you talked about side gig of managing, booking musicians, and we talked about the Viita. Is there anything else we should talk about? And I'm not trying to try and get some secret.
I was gonna say you can ask. I'll think while you ask.
Well, I was just going to say, if not, because we got to have some secret stuff so I can update the website later on in the year or so. How do these two things fit together? Like, what's your mission? Is to grow your enterprise, or is it to help people? Or?
So really, like my mission is to help people. Like even with my salon, I created the salon and the environment because I felt like it was a need when I was looking for somewhere to work or like a specific atmosphere. I feel like we didn't really have that yet, and so I'm like I'm a fixer. I wanted to create that, and so that's what I did. And so that's really like my goal, not only to just create the atmosphere of like what I did with Bella Vita, especially it being diverse. You know, most of the salons are either white salons or black salons. There aren't really many salons that do both and do both like great. You know what I'm saying? So being able to create that and inform that unity in the community, especially with a lot of things that have been going on, that was a big thing, especially being biracial. And then moving forward into that, being able to continue to create that environment for other people. But this, like I said, is just a stepping stone. My mission and my goal is to be able to just create jobs in general. Like I want to more so implant different things or businesses to be able to, employ especially the youth, young kids, and teach them whatever I can possibly teach them, especially on this journey, especially with this wave of entrepreneurship and things like that, and just more so give people an authentic perspective of what entrepreneurship is, because social media can present it as like this facade of, oh, you do this and you just go, on trips and you make all this money and, whatever the case may be. And that's not the case, especially if you want to do it right. There's a lot that goes into it. So to be able to go through those things, this has been like that stepping stone into actually creating the foundation and the mission of being able to pursue something to not only benefit the community, but employ our youth and give them something beneficial to do, foundational in integrity, morals, good that they enjoy and love. And then also be able to make good money doing it the right way with the proper education and things like that.
So do you see like, so you've got 7 other artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
6 or 7. Do you see you as like an incubator for them, where you're lifting them up, or someday they might have a shop?
Oh, for
where
sure.
they do the same thing.
Oh, for sure. That's the biggest. The goal is whatever they want to get to. I want to help them get to that. So, and even with Bella Vita, if we franchise, or the goal is to franchise Bella Vita as a whole, when doing that, and in doing that, hopefully, like one of them, do want that. But right now, like they see, all the things that I'm doing, and like, being able to learn, okay, maybe I don't want to take too much. I love being an artist and just being able to tend to my clients. And so that is the great thing about Bella Vita, and even me. My vision is, if you don't want that, that's okay. Like, you can still be great, self-employed, independent contractor, doing your thing, making great money in a space that supports you, loves you, and makes sure that you can go home and be a wife, mom, or whatever it is. And when you come to work, you can tend to your clients. But then if you also want that next extra step of being the business owner, opening a salon or a spa, then I'm here to help you with that journey too. And I'll be able to coach you and get you through there. And if that, whether that's through Bella Vita or their own space, like, I'm with that 100%.
I love the way you're talking.
Yeah.
I definitely see the entrepreneur coming out.
Yeah.
Not just an artist. So I love what you're doing. What do you do every damn day to push them forward?
Shoot, I don't give up. That's what I do. I continue to push them, continue to promote them, as well as myself. And I'm always making plans, always looking for basically continuing the next goal, the next step, in whatever it is for my journey. Like I said, what I'm working on, also that is like my undercover. I feel like that's going to be the next thing that really like takes what I'm trying to do to the next level. So.
Did we forget to promote anything?
I do have an event coming up with my bro KT. We have, because we both have the same vision and like mind. Yep. We're going to be hosting a business and brunch bash at the salon. It'll be our first one, and that will be the next big and upcoming event that we have going on. So definitely look out for that.
Did you pick a date?
Yeah, we did.
He was just on the show like 2 days ago.
Did he give you the date or no?
No, I don't think we talked about it.
So how about this? Well, it is promoted for September the 26th. And so with that, we will have all those things coming out tomorrow. So you'll be able to see all the promotion and different sneaks and snippets of what we'll have, who will be there, all of those good things. So that is the next thing.
I think he was right after his account.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we talked about that.
Nope, we just solidified the last minute thing. So, but that'll be coming up, and hopefully it's literally going to be a brunch for everyone. Just a great, not just networking, but uplifting, and to be able to help educate, and especially for those of us that are like first generation entrepreneurs or artists or self, whatever that is. That's what we're creating this next thing. Yes, you're invited.
Get it on the calendar. So September 26th, it's a Sunday, I think.
Yep.
Right? So Sunday brunch at the salon in Newelltown. Sounds lovely.
Yes.
And my show will be over, so I won't have nothing else to do for the day. Mimosa?
I know we'll have some coffee. We might have some mimosas.
Or we can go to Real Town Park afterwards. So tomorrow on the show, I've got. Oh wait, no, I didn't ask Tess this question. Yesterday on the show, when Daisy came these shows together, Tess, who's an author, a coach, a musician, she plays with the symphonies and all of that. Her question to you is, how do you pursue a dream but still stay rooted in the present, like not get lost in just the dream?
I will say it's hard to do, but what I try to do is take it a day at a time. First of all, to try on my vocabulary. So what I do is I take a day at a time. I kind of find ways to slow myself down, whether that's a date with my husband, or just a day to kind of sit at home with my dog. I don't have kids, but that's my son. Whatever that is, I just take a day, and then I'll kind of get back to, okay, what is it that I can accomplish today? What is it that I'm working on today to get to those goals for tomorrow? And that's what I do.
See, I love that. Doing this show every day has been super difficult, and just managing, making sure, I probably text you too many times. Are you coming? Are you coming? But it has completely made me be in the present, but then not. Like as soon as the show's over, I'm going on to the next show, and I've almost forgot. Like I've got 5 of these notebooks filled with all the notes and all the stuff that I need to follow up on. And I hardly have time for it. So I'm losing my present, I'm losing my future. I'm all tangled up right now. So.
And I think the biggest thing is like I try, but I do right now. I try to even do like meditation in the morning. I'll journal, like read some scriptures and things like that to kind of slow myself to just focus on the day. I write out the things I'm grateful for, the things that I've accomplished, the things that I may have not been able to do yet, but I'm trying to get to. But I'll focus more so on what, like, the gratefulness of today, the things I've accomplished for today, and so far, and kind of go from there. That is something that I do give myself, like, especially in the morning. But I'll try to start my day with that. That way, I don't get too far, because I'm one of those who will go really far where I don't sleep, and I'm like journaling, I'm writing out. So that's a good question.
Well, it's a great answer too. Thank you. I mean, that's sound advice right there.
Yeah.
All the stuff that you just said. I like that you're saying you took try out of your vocabulary. Do you know who Oprah is? She's running for Ward 2 City Council, Oprah Reddish. So, anyways, what she said the most amazing thing to me the other day. She was talking about the word sorry, and she said, usually when you say sorry, you should be saying thank you. And I've been examining that and trying to get sorry out of my vocabulary, and realized when I really said, like, instead of sorry I texted you so much, thank you for being here and accepting my text and understanding. And I think you could really eliminate, because sorry gets so diluted by people. That really stuck with me and resonated with me for some reason the other day.
Yeah, that's how I feel about try. Because I feel like try doesn't, like, a lot of people always say, I'm trying, but like, there's no such thing. Either you're doing it or you're not. Because you can try to go to the gym, but like, either you're going or you're not. So when I take try out my vocabulary, it takes away the excuse or the procrastination. Either I'm going to do it or I'm not.
So I'll try to take try out. I'm just kidding. So tomorrow on the show, I've got Craig Derrick Jones. He's with the Lansing Media Center. He's a videographer. What question would you like me to pass on to him? He makes films, so we're really going to be talking about his film.
Okay. So I got the question that I gave you, reworded. But basically, how do you remain rooted or authentic in a time where social media has basically driven so much vanity in today's world?
See, I think this is such a great question, because you look at like our political landscape, and everyone, this politician shows up there, they're trying to get a picture for their social media. They could give a rat's ass less about the particular vendor they might be standing next to, and it's all about promoting themselves and promoting that. But then at the same time, if you're like a nonprofit and you need donations or you need this, you've got to, well, I do this great work.
Yeah.
And you got to tell that so people will help you continue to do that great work. This is such a great question. And I will answer it later on TikTok. So you put me in, now I got to think about it. Because a lot of times I can just rattle off what my answer would be. This one I got to think about, because I always worry about that.
Yeah.
Are we being authentic, or did we really move the camera a little bit more to make sure we got that little black girl in there or something like that,
for
and
sure.
making sure we're just Paul Smith from Universe Media said record, don't document, don't create. Document what you're doing and tell that story. Don't start putting someone there and this person there and all that. So we try really hard to just document what we're doing, post it, and tell a story.
Yeah, I think that's like big, especially for what I do, because I don't like to be in front of the camera. I'm like more of the behind the scenes. I'm gonna push you all the way. But then the things that I am doing, I don't ever want people to feel as though like I'm doing it for clout or things. But that's the big thing now. So it's like, how do you promote yourself and be true to yourself without, being perceived as, or even falling into the vanity of social media, when social media is the big thing. You have to use it. So.
And sometimes people have social media managers, so you can kind of blame them for it, but not really, because it comes right back to the owner or the personal account. And it seems maybe like earlier, when there was a lot of advertisement companies and marketing firms, they kind of took responsibility, and you could just say, well, that's my campaign. But now, like if I saw a post from Viita, I wouldn't think it was your receptionist. I would think it was definitely you doing it. So now you got that. You get blamed for it. Yes. So what do you do to stay rooted, or to not stay rooted, but to stay away from the vanity part?
To be honest, like I try to be honest. I do my best to. I don't put a lot of my personal stuff on social media. I really only post, like, if you do see me, even my personal pages, if you do see me, it's literally just the bare minimum. I don't post a lot about, like, my marriage. I don't post a lot about certain things, just because I feel like it becomes overwhelming when people, they want to know so much about you, and then they have these false perceptions of you. Even if you are authentic, or you show them these true things about yourself, or if you don't show them enough, they still form a perception, which perception is their reality, but it's not always the real reality of that person. So I try to give the least amount that I can, but the most impact that I can. And if people take it, that's good. If they misunderstand it, it's okay. But regardless, like, I'm consistent with what they see. I'm consistent with what I put out. And at least people know, regardless, like, she's doing something. You might not know everything, and I don't need you to know all the great things that I'm doing, and I don't care to promote it all. But at least the things that are important, I do put those out there. And then the fun things that I like to share of myself, I share those things too. But the sacredness, I keep. So that's what I've found has been helpful for me.
I like that. The sacredness I keep.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go re-examine everything. Happiness, sadness, joy, hope, and or love. Which word or words would you like to talk about?
I would say joy, only because joy is rooted. It's not based off of emotion. It's not something that is like, this or that. Joy, you have to work for. Like, it's a mental, capacity to be like, no, regardless of whatever is going on, I'm going to be grateful, or I'm going to be positive, or I'm going to strive. Joy is it doesn't waver. Whereas, like, happiness, sometimes you can be happy, sometimes you can be sad, but joy is always rooted, especially if you remind yourself to always have joy in whatever circumstance or whatever situation is going on, to find the joy in that's rooted, and that, I feel like, is more impactful, and will also help you to be more impactful to the people around you.
355 days ago, I would have said you're wrong. That's not what joy is. But bear with me for a second, because I had the theory that that's what happiness was, and joy was the other. Joy was like opening a birthday present, and oh my God, I can't believe you got me this. And happiness was more, I'm in a good mood. discussed today, and
Yeah.
some continuing there. But only 1 out of 3 people agree with that. 2 out of 3 agree with what you said. And so part of this question is the difference between joy and happiness, which you answered naturally. I'm completely surprised by this. I've been using both words wrong, or maybe it's relative to the person. I still don't understand. Like, I don't understand who says that happiness is that way and who says that joy is that way. Like, if it's male and female, or if it's believers and non-believers or something. I do sense that joy from a biblical sense has a different meaning because I'm not a religious person.
Right, for sure.
So it's really interesting what's popped out of that. Because I used to ask too, like, are you happy? And I don't even know, are you joyful? Is that the right word? Isn't it? Are you joyful?
I would say I'm always joyful. Now, happy, I'm not always happy. Because sometimes I can be joyful and be sad. Sometimes I can be, but I feel like, and that's why I guess that's my perception of joy being different than happiness, because I feel like it's okay to be sad sometimes, but you can't be happy and sad at the same time. Whereas with joy, you can have joy and be sad, even though whatever is going on. Because even if I'm sad, like during the pandemic, I was sad, but I was still full of joy because I was grateful. I seen, the impact and the things that were going on in the community, and that filled me with joy. Whereas happiness, like some things I wasn't happy about. So I think it's just like one of those things also by not being moved by emotion. And that's like something that I have taken into consideration and been very like diligent about my mental health, and like being sure to, fill out the feelings that are going on, not cover things up or this or that. So be okay with being sad and upset or angry, but still having joy in those moments. And that's just, to me, simply finding the gratefulness in whatever that situation is. So whether it's loss, well, what are you grateful for? What is the lesson or whatever? That's still a form of joy.
This whole discussion, I could sit here for an hour with you. But this is an example, everyone, of like what we're going to do on September 12th. We're going to be writing about what we learned from people, whether it's the subtlety and the definition that somebody has, or great advice that they had. So thank you for I don't know how many times that'll come up in the next 10 episodes, but I think that might be the way you just summarized it. I think is convincing me that I've been wrong this entire time. And there might not be a right or wrong.
Yeah. Just a perspective.
So, thank you for all of this.
Yeah.
This, again, I don't know if it's a bias or whatever, but I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about a salon and a spa. I wonder what else she's going to talk about. Is she going to just want to focus on that? And you just blew me out of water. So I love that you're an entrepreneur first. I love that you're thinking about, incubating these young people on a career path or a business of their own, or just giving them something positive to do while they figure out the other stuff in their life. Because, man, it's a hard world to navigate right now.
Yes, it is very nerve-wracking, but I believe in the next generation, so they're going to be great.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They are amazing. What would you like to take us on?
I would say one of the quotes that have always stuck out with me is success is where opportunity meets preparation. And I feel like that's my life. And I didn't know it until opportunity presented itself. And so I would just encourage others to know, like, whether you were overlooked like me, whether you were, misunderstood like me, whether you were came from whatever background or whatever may have happened, like your definition of success is different than the next person. But for me, like, I found success in just being who I am and being able to pursue what I love and being able to impact the people with the gift, by the preparation. And that preparation wasn't always great. Didn't always feel good. It didn't always seem like it was beneficial, but that preparation created the character in me, made me who I am, gave me the drive and the diligence to then be presented with an opportunity like what I have to be a business owner or salon. Whereas most people who knew me back then, they wouldn't have thought that. They didn't even think I was gonna be anything. But
Boxing gym.
pretty much,
Release fitness.
you know. But because of that preparation and because of those things, the opportunity presented itself, and I was able to take that. And now I'm happy with the success of who I am and where I am and where I'm going.
Just another reason to love salons and salon owners. So
Yeah.
thank you so very much for coming on the show. And anything else? You good?
Love you all.
All right. I love you all too. So have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow, everyone.
Yes.
Bye-bye.